Hello friends and welcome back to Usanas Dialogues. As we talk today, the Iran-Israel war has entered into a very critical phase. Hormuz Strait remains closed. Donald Trump has given an ultimatum of 5 days to Iran to open the Straits of Hormuz. And it all seems that after this ultimatum is over, this war is going to escalate. But what remains unnoticed amidst all this turmoil is the stance of Pakistan. Pakistan last year signed a strategic mutual defense agreement with Saudi and made some really big promises, big commitments that yes, we'll come to your rescue and the mutual defense agreement clearly stated that aggression on either of the countries would be considered as an aggression on both, which meant that if Saudis are attacked, Pakistan would have to come to their rescue, or if Pakistanis are attacked, Saudis would have to come to their rescue. That's what we expected. But today, when Iran is bombing Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Saudi, not even leaving their civilian infrastructure, and today it seems that very soon Iran will be bombing their power plants, desalination plants. But where is Pakistan? Yes, Pakistan is absolutely missing. Pakistan knows how to make very lofty, hollow promises and commitments to its friends, and later on, it's equally adept at betraying them. This is not for the first time, friends. It has happened in the past also. Yeah, let's go back to 2001. What happened in 2001? September 11 terror attacks. After that, Americans came and invaded Afghanistan. Pakistan joined Americans with the gusto. Musharraf made a powerful speech that yes, we stand with you in this global war on terror. Americans wanted Pakistanis to deploy a huge portion of their armed forces on the Western Front, because they were pressurizing the Al-Qaeda fighters, and Al-Qaeda fighters were crossing over to Pakistan. Now, Pakistan had something really nasty going inside their mind. Pakistan wanted to give a window to the Al-Qaeda fighters who were trying to escape from Afghanistan and enter the Pakistani territory. But that wouldn't have been possible unless Pakistan shifted a large part of its armed forces to some other front. What was the best alternative? They orchestrated a terror attack in Delhi at the Indian Parliament, which created a warlike situation. And yes, Pakistan got a very legitimate excuse for the Americans, telling them that yes, we have an existential war going on with India, so we have no choice. We have to shift a large part of our forces to the Eastern Front. And during that period, the Al-Qaeda fighters got a space. They crossed into Pakistan. Today also, Pakistan is finding excuses to avoid this responsibility, and it's chickening out, it's withdrawing, it's silent. Pakistan actually faces a very difficult choice today. On one hand, it has Saudi Arabia has been a very critical supporter of Pakistan, in fact the most powerful financial lifeline. Pakistan has maintained and nurtured deeply rooted ideological, cultural, religious, political and strategic ties with Saudis. Immediately after signing that strategic mutual defense agreement, Saudis extended the loan of $3 billion to Pakistan to support its fledgling economy, to bolster its depleting foreign exchange reserves. So today, Saudi rightfully expects Pakistan to come to its aid. But on the other side, Pakistan faces Iran, which is a bordering state. Pakistan's history with Iran is a tad bit more complex. During Shah's time, Pakistan, along with Iran, constituted a critical pillar of America's center. However, after Shah's ouster, Iran became a Shia Iran, ruled by an extremist Shia Orthodox clergy. And by that time, that is 1979-80, Pakistan had become intensely Islamic. Deobandi Sunni extremists constituted the central pillar of Islamism in Pakistan, and they hated Shias. Most of the Deobandi terror groups like the Harkat Network terror outfits, Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, Sipah-e-Sahaba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, they carried pogroms and mass killings of the Shia Muslims. Shias were identified with their I cards and they were asked to get out of the buses and they were killed. They did not even spare the Iranian diplomats. All these developments adversely impacted its ties with Iran. Pakistan also faces some other problems with Iran, which relate to the smuggling of the illegal smuggling of oil from Iran to Pakistan. Pakistan also alleges that Iran shelters the Baluch rebels in its territory. The things became so tensed and ruptured that in Jan 2024, Iran fired missiles at the headquarters of a Sunni terrorist organization, Jaish-ul-Adl, in Pakistan's Balochistan province. Today, if Pakistan decides to join Saudis, it faces twin problems. Firstly, Shias, which constitute at least 10 to 15% of its population, may revolt. Shias also constitute a considerable section in Pakistan army. Also, they are represented throughout the rank and file, though disproportionately, but still they matter. They are also likely to revolt. Even the Sunnis will not be pleased with the idea of Pakistan joining forces with the Saudis, Israel, and the US against Iran, because Sunni and the Muslims in general in South Asia perceive this war as the war against the infidel West, war against the Christians and Jews, in which Khamenei, and all the other leaders of Iranian resistance, they have become the symbols of the religious fight against the West. So they will not be pleased. And on the other side, Pakistan also faces the threat of Iranians bombing Pakistan, sending their missiles into Pakistan. Now imagine when Iran can send its missiles to Diego Garcia, which is 4,000 kilometers away from Pakistan, from Iran. What can happen to Pakistan, which is right next to Iran? With all its missiles dropping on Pakistani cities and Pakistani air bases, they can wreak havoc. And we know the quality of Pakistani air defenses. They were badly exposed in Operation Sindoor. And once again, the situation which makes this threat much more alarming is the fact that Pakistan is going through a worst phase of its bilateral ties with Afghanistan and India. With India, recently it had a 4-day war, which India called Operation Sindoor, and very likely anything can happen soon in the future also. With Afghanistan, certainly Pakistan is fighting a war on a regular basis. They are bombing civilian infrastructure in Pakistan, killing babies and children in the hospitals. So Pakistan is in a very difficult situation, and to escape from this situation, to again find reasonable, legitimate excuses, it's heating up things on the Afghan border, and they know that Afghanistan doesn't have a proper functioning military or a proper air force. They don't stand anywhere against Pakistan in the military power, so they can take those liberties with Afghanistan. But these are artificially created, I would say, border frictions. In the future, they are likely to create some trouble on the Indian front also, because war with India gives the best excuse to Pakistani army to rally its disgruntled citizens behind the Pakistani army, and also the most legitimate and the most powerful excuse to the West that yes, they are going to fight a war with the existential threat that is India. So we see that with all these problems and all these different dilemmas and choices, Pakistan stands exposed as an opportunistic partner and an unreliable geostrategic player. Pakistan's dreams and aspirations of being a net security provider and a critical player in the emerging security architecture of the Middle East, they stand shattered. And certainly, this needs to be brought out, this needs to be exposed. Thank you.